Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today, and today we're going to be talking about the Houston Rockets being on fire. The Rockets have won 6 straight games and have gotten themselves all the way back up to the 2 seed in the Western Conference thanks to Denver losing to Washington. The Rockets have, with their 6-game winning streak and some help of other teams losing, Memphis has dropped a couple, and you saw the Lakers kind of get a little cold there for a minute. Lost 4 straight. They did win today, though. And then obviously you saw Denver lose a couple games recently to Minnesota and Washington. Helped the Rockets get to a position where they're back at the 2 seed. We're the 5 seed. We're really struggling for a minute. Had lost a couple in a row. They lost against Sacramento, and then they lost against OKC, then they lost to Indiana and lost 3 straight, and we're really starting to struggle, and we're struggling a little bit before that too, but recently they've been on fire, and even at times when they've been shorthanded and have won 6 straight games. I think a big reason of that has been getting a guy like Fred VanVleet back, and he's been big since getting him back. The Rockets, yes, they've had some easier games. This whole winning streak started off when they beat the New Orleans Pelicans 2 times in a row, and but then they beat Orlando, which, look, Orlando's a tough team to beat. They are terrible offensively. You saw them beat Cleveland today. It's because they're a tough team to beat because they're great defensively. So if you have a great offensive night, it's not hard to beat them. It really isn't. But if their defense gets you and you start playing bad offensively, it can go any way, and that's why you saw Orlando beat Cleveland today. And the Rockets didn't have that great of an offensive night when they played Orlando. They didn't even reach 100, but since the Rockets played great defense as well, they were able to beat Orlando. That's a tougher matchup to play. When the Rockets can have struggling nights, and especially without Fred. They did have Fred in Orlando, against Orlando, so it's a tougher matchup. Without Fred, the Rockets beat Orlando. Then you play Phoenix. I know Phoenix record doesn't look good, but you have to face KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker. That's never going to be easy, no matter what their record is. So that was a really good win for the Rockets. They did get Fred VanVleet back in that one, and that's without Amen Thompson as well. And the win against Dallas, I mean, that's as easy as it gets. I mean, I'm not going to try to hype up that win. Yes, it was a 37-point win, but it was the Dallas Mavericks, so let's not hype that win up. And then last night against the Bulls, I thought it was a solid win. The Bulls came into the game last night, red hot, won 4 games in a row, and were looking good. And the Rockets got off to a really bad start. Looked like Chicago would maybe pull off an upset, and the Rockets outscored the Bulls in quarters 2 through 4 by 11 points. So I thought that the Rockets did a solid job last night through quarters 2 through 4 and getting a solid win, and that made it 6 wins in a row. And now at this point they're 43-25, and at this point you can't have 40 losses in a season. I mean, it's the first time you can say that in a while. The Rockets haven't had a season where they won't have 40 losses in a season since the 2019-20 season. I mean, last year they didn't have a negative record, but they were 41-41. So, and possibly the Rockets could be gunning to have a 50-win season this year, which would be amazing. And only need 7 more wins to do that in the final, 16 games? Last 16 games. So I think they've played great basketball. Şengün has played great in the last 6 games throughout this winning streak. Even a couple games before he got it, before this winning streak started, he was playing pretty well. But in this winning streak, he's averaged 20, 10, and 6. Jalen Green's played great over the last 4 games, 21, 7, and 5 in the last 4 games. Tari Eason has had some great basketball throughout this winning streak. Had a 30-point game the other night as for a career high against Dallas. They've had help elsewhere. Fred VanVleet's been great. He had 23 points last night against Chicago. That was key. Had 18 points in the second quarter. Jabari's had his good nights. And then Thompson has not played much of this winning streak because he got injured, but he did play against a couple games against New Orleans in this winning streak and looked good in those games. And, Dylan Brooks has had his good games throughout this winning streak. The Rockets team has just played good team basketball, and I expect a couple more wins to keep this winning streak going. Play Philadelphia tomorrow, then you got Orlando and Miami. I think the Rockets can keep this winning streak going to at least 9. So I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts on the Rockets being red hot right now, and how long do you think this winning streak keeps? How long do you think this winning streak goes on to? I think this Rockets team can carry this winning streak to 9. And in a couple days on Friday, the Rockets play the Heat. I think after Friday we'll be talking about how the Rockets are 46-25 and on a 9-game winning streak. Let me know your thoughts on the Rockets being red hot in the comment section, and peace out. Go Rockets.